Every major economic shift, every global financial rescue, every new policy that impacts the price of your food, fuel, or future rarely begins in a government office. It begins in rooms you've never seen, with people you've never voted for, inside institutions that quietly steer the world's economy. Think tanks are research powerhouses, part scholars, part strategists that governments, corporations, and even presidents rely on for advice. These organizations analyze global trends, predict financial risks, and design policies that influence billions of lives. Visual. Logos of top think tanks fade in: Brookings, Rand, Chatham House, Carnegie, Peterson Institute, IMF economic boards, etc. But unlike politicians, think tanks don't campaign. They don't give speeches. They operate in silence, shaping the world from behind the scenes. The secret power of think tanks. Why do global leaders trust think tanks so much? For one reason: data. These institutions gather mountains of it on inflation, trade, conflict, technology, and financial markets. Then they turn it into forecasts that can influence entire nations. Graphs showing inflation, energy crises, supply chain predictions. When a country wants to decide whether to raise interest rates, how to handle a debt crisis, or whether to invest in artificial intelligence, they ask think tanks first. The biggest think tanks in global economics, the Brookings Institution, USA. Often called the brain of Washington, Brookings has shaped everything from U.S. trade deals to global development strategies. Chatham House, UK. Known for the famous Chatham House rule, this London-based think influences diplomacy, global energy policies, and financial stability frameworks. Peterson Institute for International Economics. If the world wants to understand global recession risks, currency shifts, or trade wars, this is where experts look first. Rand Corporation. What began as a military research lab now influences innovation, economic competitiveness, and global cyber strategy. Bruegel, EU. Europe's answer to economic chaos. Bruegel helps shape the EU's response to crises, from energy shocks to inflation. How think tanks shape the global economy. 1. Financial crisis alerts. When think tanks see economic danger, they publish warnings. Governments act on them, markets react to them, and your wallet feels them. 2. Policy blueprints. From tax reforms to global trade agreements, think tanks often write the first draft of major policies. 3. Technology and future predictions. AI jobs, crypto regulation, climate economics. Think tanks build models long before governments even start talking. 4. Quiet influence on world leaders. Presidents, prime ministers, CEOs, even defense chiefs rely on them for confidential briefings. Controversies: who funds them? But with great power comes great suspicion. Many think tanks receive money from governments, tech giants, oil industries, or billionaires, logos of corporations, wealthy donors, government flags. Critics argue that this funding can tilt their recommendations, shaping policies that favor the wealthy, not the people. Supporters argue that research must be funded and influence doesn't mean control. Inside a think tank. How they work. A typical day inside a think tank looks like this. Analysts reading global data, economists modeling future scenarios, meetings with diplomats and CEOs, policy papers being drafted, confidential briefings to government officials. Narrator. The public may only see a published report, but behind it could be months of hidden conversations and strategic planning. How think tanks impact you directly. You may never step inside a think tank, but their decisions shape your life every day. Your job opportunities, the price of food and fuel, interest rates on your loans, the strength of your currency, the technology your country invests in. Narrator. When think tanks speak, the world listens, and sometimes obeys. The future of think tanks. As AI, climate change, and geopolitical conflicts intensify, think tanks are becoming even more powerful. Some worry about hidden influence. Others see them as the world's early warning system. But one thing is clear: in the global economy of tomorrow, think tanks may shape more than policy, they may shape destiny. So the next time you hear about a new economic law, a sudden policy shift, or a global financial prediction, remember, somewhere in a quiet office, far from elections and crowds, a think tank may have played the first move. Subscribe for more deep global stories inside the think tanks that shape the global economy.